What's up, guys? Bullet here. So this evening I'm going to do the ON3 turbo kit review on my 2013 Coyote. It's taking me a minute to get around to this point, but we are there. I got my other lights on because my garage lights, shop lights here, decided doesn't want to work. But to give some highlights of this before we get started, pretty much I'm going to go over the issues I've had with installation, and the problems I ran into, and things that by contacting ON3 last year when I installed it, what their response was to all the issues and all the pictures I sent to, because pretty much when you contact ON3 you're going to be emailing Greg back and forth. So that was primarily who I dealt with. I recently had a talk out with Chad, who owns ON3, on one of the Facebook pages, 2011 and Up Anything Coyotes. Pretty much I was told to fuck off, even though I provided proof of the issues, and he says his shit isn't trash, but obviously I got taken because I got one of the kits that was completely fucked up. So if you Google Mustang ON3 turbo kit issues, or Coyote ON3 turbo kit problems, issues, fitment problems, it'll bring up pages and pages on forums in different places, and all these people that have a lot of negative stuff to say about ON3. And a lot of the issues you will find, people did write-ups on all of the fucked up problems with this kit. All I'm going to say is, when I, in January, February of 2017, I hit them up and I asked a bunch of questions about like all these issues that I had that I've been reading online. I'm like, well, I don't want to buy this kit if I'm going to have these issues. And they guaranteed me and told me that all the issues I've seen are fixed, and these are all old articles, and I will not have any problems. Well, Greg was 100% wrong, because I had every known problem they had plus some. And one of their go-to excuses usually is, oh, it's installation error. No, it's not. This is not fucking installation error. This is your shit's fucked up. It's not even made right. So I dealt with a person named Rob from Gearhead Built in Columbus, Gearhead Automotive, however you want to call it, which he did a lot of the ON3 installs down there, and fixed pretty much all of their problems. See, when you buy a kit through him, which if I would have known, I would have bought it through him, because I wouldn't have had these problems, because he would have fixed everything before it got sent to me. But he did all of that stuff, and he even has videos on YouTube you can find that discuss the issues with the ON3 kits. So pretty much it's a twin turbo kit with all the upgrades, the cast stainless manifolds, twin 67s with billet wheels. I ordered it with .68 hot sides, but when I went to pick it up in Columbus, they didn't have the turbos with the .68s. So they gave me ones with .81 hot sides, even though the boxes said .96, which I was like, fuck's this? Greg said, no, they're .81s. We checked, we put them together. And I said, well, you sure they're going to fit and they're going to clear? And he said, absolutely. All you're going to need is these angled spacer brackets, which if you look up the kits, and on the forums, you'll see they have, basically it's like a single T4 flange that is cut diagonally in half, and they make two spacers that are angled to tilt the hot sides to get proper clearance with the pipes. Well, those really didn't work in my case. I would have had to do two spacers on top of each other, but if I did that, then the downpipes wouldn't fit. There's no way the downpipes would have cleared anything on this car, and all the geometry would have been fucked up. So I had a lot of fabbing to do. I had to hit up my dude JB from JB Welding and Fabricating, and he had to basically fix all of the problems. He had to do all the rewelding of the downpipes, the wastegate flanges on the downpipes, and the main gate flange on one of the manifolds. So I'm going to switch over to the other video side and point out this stuff so you guys can at least see the issues I ran into. I got roughly right over 1,000 miles on the kit, and I have another issue that I'm going to be taking care of. I got to save up a lot of money to replace them, but it is what it is, hit and miss. Garage lights going gay. I have these, but even these cheap lights, yeah, they don't want to work that well, so we'll just leave this on low. Okay, so this is the turbo kit. I got everything done, you know, professionally and perfect, so it all looks very good. Also, I'm a member of MMO, Muscle Mustangs Ohio. If you're in Ohio, check them out. A lot of people, some people like the heat tape, some people don't. I do it for the pure fact that it keeps the heat out of the pipes, and it keeps the heat, the turbo heat, away from the heads. And then you got all the header wrap and the turbo blankets, which keeps the heat in, helps pull the turbos up quicker, it keeps engine bay cooler. And then I removed the grating that was on these, so you'd have more flow, and they sit literally right on top over these. So this is not for the weakest heart. You got to have knowledge and skill to be able to put this fucking kit on. It was a pain in the ass. Literally did it all myself. I've been working on cars since I was 15, and this was just a complete and utter challenge for me to do. So the one thing I'll get into is you'll find notoriously with this pipe here, this downpipe, you'll see it right here. You're like, oh, that looks weird. So what it is this pipe is too short and it's angled wrong. So not only on some kits you have to add pipe to get it to line up and re-weld the flange on. In this case, my flange was the wrong thickness. It had a flange that was too thin, so when we went to clamp it down, it would still bobble around. So luckily the wastegate itself, when it comes in the kit, it comes with another flange for down here for the manifold, and then it comes with this flange here. So I pretty much took the flange that came with the thing and pretty much welded it to the flange that was on it to extend it and angle it so it'll mount up properly. And my buddy did all the welding, so it's all sealed. I don't have any leaks. The other issue, let's see if I can even, let's see here. I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but I will put pictures in the write-up on the video. Let's see. So, let me see if I can get this down in here. Alright, you will see right here is the original flange. You'll see it's nice and smooth right there. Okay, let's try this again since I got a stupid phone call from Marriott Hotels. You know, y'all need to stop calling me and trying to get me to do this shit. I get these phone calls every week. Okay, so again, you can see the original flange right below my finger. It's nice and smooth, and you see the welding. We had to weld a secondary flange on top of it because the actual hot side was hitting the flange area, and there was no way to get that clamp on right here while running, you know, the flange that was on the turbo manifold. So there was no way it was going to clear, and I'll have pictures attached to this as well. So that was the other issue. And then on this side, it was the same thing. This flange had to be cut off and welded on with the proper thickness size flange, because that was wrong. Luckily, they had proper clearance with this design. So I don't know what their thoughts were on this, but like, this is a perfect setup. As you can see, everything seems to fit and clear nicely. And then for some reason over here, this turbo's all angled, the pipe's all over here, and I mean, Helion's kit is symmetrical, so I don't know why they couldn't design something that was symmetrical as well and not make it such a pain in the ass. But so back to what we were going on. So the oil feed, you'll have to figure out, like, this one is ran up through a hole in the frame rail, heat taped, ran up here, they're clocked at 12. And then some people run this line under the engine or over the engine. I preferred over the engine, right to the turbo. The other issue you're going to have is if you want to run filters, is this ABS unit in the bracket. You're going to have to properly modify the bracket and basically cut it, re-drill it, and re-bolt this on to give yourself enough clearance to fit a very small filter right here. The big filter they give me comes into this area and gets all in the way of all of these lines. It was a giant pain in the dick. But the other issue is these are your brake lines for the ON3 kit. These are real nice quality lines. All right, don't get me wrong. But a known issue was the fittings. The fittings that go from the lines into the master. And let me light that up for you so you can see it. Those fittings that screw in to the master. And then the same fittings that, let's see if we can get a better picture angle on this. The fittings that screw in, let's see, there it is, you can see them. So as you notice, there is copper washers underneath them. So the reason there's copper washers on here and the master is because the fittings are wrong. You can thread the fittings down, they may seem to tighten up, but they will not seal. They will leak. I tried it and they leak. Called a buddy over that is better at hydraulic brake systems than me, and he says it's the pitch inside the fittings, and because the fitting is so long, it's not getting a proper tight seal. So what we did is we cut them down per what you'll find on the forums online, cut the fittings down, and pretty much rethreaded them. You know, after we cut them, we used a tap, redid them, and then put a copper gas washer and sealed them, and we've had no leaks. So the fittings were wrong. They said those were supposed to be fixed. The other issue, I don't think I'm going to be able to get down. I might be able to. I don't care about getting dirty because I'm not getting in the car tonight. But let's see if we can see this, because I didn't feel like jacking the car up for this. So there is your oil feed fittings hiding right up there. It's hard to see, but let's see. You can kind of see them. Those ones up here are all made by me. The reason being is the ones that come in the kit are no good. They do not thread into the adapter, and the adapters for the line fittings did not screw into the main fitting block. So the only thing that worked was the line, the feed hoses, the fittings screwed into the adapters that screwed into the main, and that was it. Nothing else would thread in. It was all the wrong threads, the wrong pitch, the wrong everything. So I had to go out and make my own, and I bought some real big brass ones. I don't have them out right now. They're locked in my box, so I really can't show you. So that was another issue. The other issue is the downpipes. You're not going to be able to see it, but you can kind of see the steering shaft looks a little weird. That's because the rust on it. I had to grind down the knuckle to get proper clearance between the steering shaft and my manifold engine. Because there is a, how do we want to put this? So say you had this pipe and you had an inward cutout, indentation in the pipe, which was meant to go around the steering shaft. Well, it's 1.5 inches in the wrong place. It's down further, past the steering shaft. So it wasn't going to work. The other thing is with the downpipes in, oh man, I got another phone call. Man. Alright, so with the downpipes in, the other issue was they were sitting on the frame rails. So my buddy again from JB Welding Fabricating, we had to cut some steel squares and punch them, weld them together, and make 1/2 inch engine spacer to lift up the engine 1/2 inch to properly clear the downpipes between the frame rails, the manifolds, and the frame rails, steering shaft, and the engine. And it's very, very tight. And the steering shaft lightly rubs on the exhaust wrap, but there is no other way I can fix this because I have zero clearance between the boss intake and my strut tower. I mean, there's like that much clearance. So that was a giant pain to get that all lined up. And then even my exhaust, it's got a Pipes X off-road X pipe with the detachable cat delete sections, and it's got a Pipes catback on it as well. We ended up deleting the mufflers and everything else after the turbo kit was on because nothing would line up right. No matter which way we tried to get these down pipes to line up with the cat delete pipes or the X pipe, everything was angled completely wrong. You couldn't get shit to line up right. It would sit crooked, and then the over axle pipes weren't in the proper positions. So pretty much we had to completely cut the X pipe apart, and I had to completely modify my own X pipe, delete the mufflers and everything to get it to sit right and mount right in the car. At some point I'm going to redo it again with actual 304 stainless piping, but we needed to get the car running, so I just used standard Summit Racing quality, aluminized steel. It works. It was cheap. It was like $40 or $30 for like 4 feet or 6 feet, something like that. It was cheap, so it worked for now, and it's holding up good. We just put the high heat black paint over it so it doesn't look so crappy. But in my opinion, the fitment on this kit was trash. And then I got another excuse from Greg in email saying that, I might have got a prototype kit, or I might have got an old style downpipes for the new style manifolds. The way they mount up is different. Well, Rob from Gearheads, I sent him pictures, showed him what I had, and he confirmed that I had all the correct stuff for the kit, and I just got the luck of the draw, and the shit don't fit. So the other issue I'm having right now with this kit is at 1,000 miles. And I've probably done watt pulls in 4th gear, data logging with Lund. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, about 15 pulls in 4th gear from roughly 80 to 150 is 4th gear in this car, because I don't have an MT82. That'll be another review. I have the Magnum XLT 56 in this car. I do not have the trashy China-made MT82. But right now, my passenger turbo, one day we were shut it down in a car show, popped the hood, and someone said, hey, this little kid's like, hey, your turbo's still spinning. And the other driver's side was stopped, but the passenger side was still spinning, and it kept spinning with the engine off. I'm like, that's weird. Normally they would stop spinning around the same time. So when I got home, I took the turbo guard off, and whatchamacallit, I said, well, let me check turbo for play. Driver's side one, tight, perfect. Passenger side turbo is a ceramic ball bearing. It is their ball bearing one from ON3. It's already got in and out shaft play on it. Doesn't really have any side to side, but it's got 0.06 to 0.08 millimeter shaft play in and out. You can't physically see it, but if you just hold on to it and you move it, you can feel it in and out, and it makes like a little click. So I don't know how long it's going to last, but everyone I've talked to, and from what I know about ball bearing turbos, is there's never supposed to be any in or out play on a turbo. That's ball bearing. Journal bearing, yes, a little bit, because even maybe some side to side, because the oil makes up the difference in the room. It takes up the space and keeps it centered and keeps it spinning, where a ball bearing, it's already centered. The oil just lubricates it. So it's going bad. I don't know how long it's going to last. We'll see. Some people are like, oh, why don't you just run a oil filter or a screen on the return line? Well, that causes a restriction. So if it's not free flowing enough, the oil will back up into the turbo and it'll blow the seals. So what I'm going to do is, most likely, I'm looking into PTE turbos. The ones I want are still 67s, and they are roughly $1,500 a piece for the ball bearings. So that is something that I will probably do next year. So if this turbo goes bad this year, the car will be parked until next year, because I could buy another ON3 turbo for $800 for the same one that I have. But the difference is they only give you like a 30-day warranty on their parts, on their turbos. Don't forget that from the day you buy it. They told me in an email when I questioned them about 1,000 miles on the turbo, it's going bad. He said, maybe 6 months. We would look into it a year, but I'm over a year, so pretty much go kick rocks. Same thing with Chad. on anything Mustang, on Facebook, on 2011 and Up Coyotes. The posts are still up there unless he ends up deleting them if he sees this. But pretty much I write down all of the negative shit, and his response is his kit's not trash. His kits make 1,000 horsepower on the daily, and thanks for the review. Have a nice day. So he completely ignored all of the issues that I've had that are known issues with his kit. And he has, as a company owner, he is not going to make any attempt, obviously, to remedy these issues, which I posted back up that, if I was a company owner and, I seen some shit like this, I don't want to know about it, because this is bad publicity. And there's many people out there that will tell you that this shit's trash. There's guys with S550s out there that are having, on their twin kits, are having shitty fitment issues. It's a luck of a draw. This shit's made in China. They have no compressor maps for any of them. Don't ask for them because they ain't going to give you none. They don't have any. So it is what it is. It's going to be hit and miss. It's what Rob from Gearhead said. It's going to be hit or miss with the turbos. You could get 30 days. You could get a year. You could get 20,000 miles out of it. You get 5,000 miles out of it. It's going to be hit and miss due to quality control. So it just seems like I got the luck of a draw on one of the turbos. It so happens with the 67s, even for me to buy another one from ON3, I have to take one of them off or disassemble the downpipes to be able to count how many impellers are on the exhaust side. Reason being is for the 67s, they had 2 different versions. And I didn't know that when I bought it, so I never counted them. For all I know, I could have one that's got 10, one that's got 11. I don't know. I never counted either one of them. It could be why also when you rev it up or you get in it, you get off, the blow-off valve opens, but also the wastegates open at different times. You can physically hear the turbos don't break pressure at the same time. It does it at 2 separate times. So maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. But it spools up good, spools up quick with the wrap. I mean, around 3,500 to 3,800, it starts really spooling up, making some boost. It makes like 2-3 pounds, and then by 4,000, it's going out. It's making over 12, and then it tops out at like 4,200 at like 18 pounds, from 42 to 7, 18 pounds. So, to go, what Chad said, his kits make power on a daily. Thanks for the review. Yeah, your kits make power. But even a shitty kit can make power, but doesn't mean it's going to last long. That's the thing. You can make power with anything, but how long is it going to really last? Obviously, I'm finding out one of the turbos is, it's not working right. And I've been told by 2 people now that work on turbo cars that the 1/4 inch, or what is it, 1/8 inch? I think they're 1/8 inch feed lines. If I recall, I think they are 1/8 inch. They are too small for these turbos. I need to have at least 1/4 inch, 3/16 feed lines with the restrictors to make sure the oil gets sufficient enough to the turbos. And that could be a cause why the ball bearing and the one's going bad, is because it's 36 inch line and it's only like an 1/8 inch feed. Because my brake lines, even the brake feed lines, I've been told may be a little too small, because the stock ones are a lot bigger for the feeds. So that might explain why my pedal is a tad mushy, even after bleeding all 4 corners and bleeding the Ford ABS unit with a Ford VCM IDES box, whatever the hell it's called, bleeding it through the dealer pretty much, and it odulates all the valves, operates them all, bleeds all the air out. We did that 2 or 3 times, and the pedal feels good for a minute, and then it kind of gets mushy. And I think that's due to the feed lines off of the master that they provide, because I've been told that they are too small. So it's whatever, you guys think. This is just my personal opinions. I will do a review on the ON3 fuel system in another video, because that had another range of issues. And the setup for their fuel system was just sloppy. So that pretty much sums it up for the turbo kit. So you got the wastegate flanges that I had issues with, the downpipe fitment issues with frame, steering, shaft, and engine, having to make engine spacers, raise the engine, clearance with the hot side, .81 hot sides do not fit. It's It's in the way of the gate flange, and I will provide pictures to this shit to show you guys what I'm talking about, even with their angled spacers. And that's the other thing on the passenger side. You can't get the turbo wrap, the blanket wrap, all the way over it and button it down because the blow-off tube for the wastegate is in the way. There's no clearance between the hot side and the pipe. So it's tucked on there and clamped down with one spring. I'll show you that. But also the MAF housing, the tube, the charge pipe, where the have the welded bung for the mass airflow sensor, it is not welded straight on mine. It is crooked in the pipe. So the air meter sits crooked inside the MAF tube just a little bit. So Lund's been able to tune it, and I have an HPXF MAF in it. So the idle quality and everything, it's phenomenal. It runs great. It's the only thing, in my opinion, Chad has for him is that the car runs good. But it's got a list of fucking problems. And I wish I didn't have them. If I had to do it again, I just bought a Helion kit. So that's what I would tell you guys to do, is in my opinion, with my experience with ON3, is stay away from their shit. Go with someone else. You know, you got, I mean, Armageddon's a beautiful kit. They're expensive as fuck. You got, you can contact JPC, which is where the transmission came from. They can hook you up with some stuff. You got Helion. Oh, I can't think of what the other one's called. It's a single turbo kit. Can't think of the name right now. But it's also a really good kit. But yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't buy ON3 products. It's been nothing but a headache. Oh, before I forget, the blow-off valve, 50 millimeter blow-off valve, comes with a 6-pound spring in it. That is no bueno. We tried that. The car would not make boost on that. I had to call Rob at Gearheads and get a 11-pound spring from Teal to put in the blow-off valve so it stays shut, so you can make boost. So that was the other issue, is the blow-off valve. The spring that comes with it is shit. It doesn't work. And it's not the first time I've heard that issue happen, and Rob will even tell you that you could possibly have boost issues. Especially since I have stage 3 cams, my vacuum isn't as strong as a stock cam setup. So you have to run that spring. Now, I was also told, brings this up, the intercooler. I'm sorry I've been blabbering a little bit, but the intercooler, I was told on the 13 and up, 13, 14, that you don't have to modify the bumper or any of the shroud underneath. It'll fully clear. Wrong. Same thing on 11 and 12, where it hangs below the bumper. You have to cut the valance and everything. And I'm going to show you that I had to cut the whole valance underneath the car, the shielding and everything, to be able to clear the intercooler. It hangs way below my bumper. It's more than I like. But once I build the splitter for the front of this car, it'll take up some of that and cover it a little bit better. So I'm going to cut it around it and make it, smooth. But that's about it for that. So yeah, any questions, post up. Anything I didn't get to that you want to ask, let me know, and I'll answer them. Show you this intercooler. So there is your big ass intercooler. It is a huge intercooler, not gonna lie, it's huge. You can even see my computer and stuff tucked in the bumper, which that was another pain in the ass. But look at that. That's like 2 inches below my bumper. Look at that. I had to cut the whole valance for the pipes and everything on both sides to properly clear. So if you want to retain part of your stock balancer, oh my god. Really? I'm tired. It's been a long day from work. But the under bumper valance, because I have it set up so that way it still directs and keeps air going into the intercooler, you will need to cut it. And then again, I'll show you this. Here is the hot side, passenger side. I was telling you where it didn't fit, and you can see there is like no clearance. The pipe literally sits on top of the hot side. Look at that. There is absolutely no clearance whatsoever. So it kind of just sits tucked in there because I can't wrap it all the way. That's with .81s. If you had the .68s that were supposed to come with the kit, it would fit perfect. Also, I want to give a shout out to TurboGuard. If you want some cool things, they got a lot of new shit out right now. I can do a video on these. I might just do a video on these themselves, but I wanted to give a shout out to them, these TurboGuards. These things are beautiful. They work. I'm telling you. I got 15-pound springs in here, but this car's making 18 pounds, and it's most likely due to running these, so there's no restriction on the air intake on these. So, but this, I got the thin mesh, because I didn't want the big one, because I drive it on the street, so I wanted to be able to catch leaves, and I'm telling you, I've had leaves in this, I've had little twigs on this, I've had little bugs, I had a fly caught in one of them. I'm telling you, these TurboGuards, they are worth every penny. Some may say 50, 60, 70 bucks is expensive, but I'm telling you, if you can't fit a filter and you want something alternative, this is the way to go. These things are beautiful and they work. They have so many different colors. They got ones that even glow in the dark, neon colors, flat colors like this, colors that are like metallic-y, that you can have custom bands and clamps made. I mean, they make all different kinds. But I will tell you one thing, as they try telling their customers, this style is not for superchargers. I'm going to tell you that now. Not for superchargers. You will suck the screen in and eat it up. And they will not return it. They will not give you a refund because they know exactly what you did with it. So they have specific ones made for superchargers. Don't get them mixed up. Do not get this style for a supercharger. It will not work properly and you will destroy it. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen it enough from the complaints. It's ridiculous. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. Comments, and there's the clearance. I mean, look at that. I can't even fit a pinky underneath there. I mean, that's tight. It's tight all the way around. Oh yeah, and I'll show you the exhaust. We'll get to that real quick. So you can kind of see it. Let's see. Underneath here, I'll turn the phone, see if it'll work. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I got it wrapped down there, but yeah, it's all straight pipe and welded. It's too dark to see it, but we'll fix that eventually. So, all right, guys, that's it for this, I guess. Like I said, in my opinion, I wouldn't buy their stuff again. Their customer service sucks, and they won't admit to selling me trash. Also, their hardware is trash. They say it's from Chicago, but in my opinion, all their hardware is garbage. A lot of it for the wastegates and stuff, all stripped out. I had to go get, as you can see, aftermarket hardware and lock bolts because the stuff was just stripping out. Same thing, their header bolts, they're junk. They may use stuff, it may work, but in my opinion, it is not high quality stuff at all. And I would suggest getting grade 8 hardware and bolts to properly lock everything down like I did and make sure you have no issues. Until next time, guys, see ya.